Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Review. My name is Eric, and today the battle with Doomsday ramps up and a familiar hero joins in the battle as we take a look at the newest issue of Action Comics number 960. That's right, better late than never, we're going to be checking out Action Comics number 960. It is written by Dan Jurgens and illustrated by Tyler Kirkham, and it is the fourth part to the Path of Doom storyline. The issue jumps right back to where the previous one had left off. We get a shot immediately of Mr. Oz basically stalking all the major players in the storyline. You see some shots of Lois and Jonathan, Lex Luthor, Clark Kent, and everything. We then get back into the scene that we immediately ended with in the last issue, where Clark comes out of the rubble of the basically a big giant crater that was created, and he is basically met with Doomsday standing over him, getting ready to pounce on him. Just as Clark is about ready to get smashed by Doomsday, Wonder Woman actually enters the scene. We were given the hint at the end of last issue that Wonder Woman was going to be showing up in this issue. She does, 3 pages in, and she ends up saving Clark Kent from Doomsday. The interesting thing about this, and this is me not having read issue 1 or 3 of the Wonder Woman series yet, as well as the first main issue of Justice League, but it's interesting that we're finally kind of going to be seeing Wonder Woman's perspective on not only the Clark Kent that shows up, but as well as Superman from her appearances in the final days of Superman. We actually haven't really seen that much of her reaction. We got a little bit of her in Superman number 1 talking to Superman, but we haven't really gotten much one-on-one interaction between her and the new/old Superman that's saving Metropolis and is in the new Rebirth world. Through her conversations with Clark Kent, she realizes that he is not the Superman that she is looking for. Basically, she's realizing from him the fact he's not jumping immediately into the fight, not using any powers or anything, that he is not the Superman that passed away during the final days of Superman's story. Just as she's realizing this and coming to terms with this, I guess, the actual Superman, pre-Flashpoint Superman, emerges from the blast area and everything, and he re-engages with Doomsday and basically starts the fight over again. Superman and Wonder Woman now have joined forces. During this new re-energized fight with Doomsday, Superman pretty much ends this phase of the battle finally after, 4 issues, 4 parts to it. Basically takes a bus, smashes Doomsday back into the crater that was created during the fight. And that's pretty much it as far as the fight goes in Metropolis. This is the point in the story where the plot finally moves away just from the battle. We've literally had 3.5 issues worth of just fight between Superman and Doomsday, with Clark Kent thrown in there, with Lex Luthor thrown in there, now with Wonder Woman thrown in there. So this issue now actually moves the plot a little bit forward to, I guess, Act 2 of it. We basically find out that back on the Kent farm, Jonathan's watching, as we know from previous issues, but he's been watching the fight between Superman and Doomsday, rooting for his father, like any young boy would do. But he shouts so loudly when Superman makes the final blow on Doomsday that it shatters his scream or whatever, his excitement, shatters windows and TVs inside the house. You find out Doomsday still kicking underneath the bus, or the underground tunnels of Metropolis. Doomsday basically heard that, or sensed that, and now he, as a creature who hunts Kryptonians, is now on the hunt for Jonathan. Superman and Wonder Woman are topside, trying to figure out, Superman's X-ray visioning the if that's even the right way to say that term, underground tunnels and subways and everything in Metropolis, trying to figure out where Doomsday is. We also get a little bit of interaction with Clark Kent, Lex Luthor, and Clark Kent's very much like the reporter mentality. It's almost like that part of him split from Superman, and now we just have like the mild-mannered, die-hard reporter over here, where we have the superhero version over here. Again, that might be something that did happen during all the convergence and whatnot. But we still have 2 more parts at least in the storyline, so we'll see how that goes. Luthor is around, demanding an explanation from both Clark and Superman, basically questioning people because he, like everyone else, knows that Clark and Superman are the same person. We do get a mention earlier in the issue of Diana being the one to point out that Superman got somebody to pretend to be Clark Kent so we can convince the world that they're 2 separate people again. He says he can't take credit for it, so that is going to be a plot point we're going to see probably later on. If we stick with the made-for-trade mentality of comics these days, it's going to be a plot point that will probably be resolved either in issue 961 or 962 of this series, or it's going to be something amongst the larger Rebirth landscape that hopefully be resolved or at least addressed within the next year or so of storytelling. Superman then goes into a exposition moment with Luthor and Wonder Woman, talking about basically the whole fact of Doomsday is that he can't be killed. He just comes back and better than he was before. You can't kill him the same way twice. To which Luthor's really impressed with that bit of genetic breeding and whatnot. At this moment, both Superman and Lois finally realize that Doomsday doesn't normally just run off, and that they both realize kind of at the same time that Doomsday must have detected Jonathan, and both take steps in order to make sure he's okay. Lois gets Jonathan in the car, starts driving off. Superman bolts out of there with Wonder Woman following to get back to the Kent farm to make sure Jonathan is safe. One interesting point at this point in the storyline is when Wonder Woman asks Superman why he's flying off or where he thinks Doomsday is. He mentions the fact that Doomsday probably detected the other Kryptonian being his son, which she's shocked about, because we have to remember at this point it hasn't been fully established. I would kind of like either Jurgens or Tomasi in either one of their books to kind of address that. From Wonder Woman's perspective, not a week or 2 ago, her Superman, alive and well, and was the love of her life. They were a couple, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever you call them, but they were, an item. They were a relationship, they were lovers, what have you. She now has to live in a world where Superman, who is married to some other woman, and has a child, so that, and most likely is probably older, although, it's comics, so he's probably still 20-something anyway. She's kind of having to deal with this. It's more, I would probably say it's more trying on her, this situation, than it is going to be for him. So I would like for some writer, either Jurgens, Tomasi, or Rucka over in Wonder Woman, but somebody maybe give us an issue where they just sit down and talk about this and whatever, unless that's what we're doing here. But like I said, I would just like for that to be a thing. Clark intercepts Lois and Jonathan, makes sure they're okay and everything. We do have a little heartfelt moment with Lois and Wonder Woman. We get a moment with Superman and Jonathan where he's kind of trying to get out of his dad what happened in the original fight, because no one's told him yet that Superman died in the original Doomsday fight. But during this questioning, Superman realizes that Wonder Woman has now engaged Doomsday. Doomsday has now shown back up. They're up on a hill somewhere. Wonder Woman and Doomsday are getting back into it, and that is where the issue ends, with basically round 2 of the fight with Doomsday. We also get a hint at the next issue to something called the Doomsday Protocol. No idea what it is. I don't know if it is something that, like a contingency thing that Superman had come up with when he came to this world, knowing that Doomsday might be a threat, because we know in Superman, Lois, and Clark that he did go around taking care of his old enemies. This could also be something that maybe the government has in play. We don't know. We do know that there is an existence of, that's the one thing about the storyline that's a little weird for me. We know of the existence of Doomsday because Superman and Wonder Woman, I believe, fought Doomsday in Superman Wonder Woman, but there was the whole Doomed storyline, or whatever that was called, where Superman basically fought Doomsday. Doomsday's dead. Doomsday's gone, but Superman gets a Doomsday virus and becomes Doomsday. And then all of a sudden, we're in Rebirth, and we have a new Doomsday that no one remembers the old Doomsday. So everyone's like freaking befuddled whenever Superman's talking about it. So that's the only weird part of the storyline I'm just now realizing, is that we've had Doomsday before in the New 52/Rebirth world. They really need to come up with a whole name for the whole reality that we have, Earth Prime, whatever. We've had Doomsday and Earth Prime, but it just seems weird that everybody's kind of like forgotten that with the new one there. But we'll find out on August 10th what the Doomsday Protocol is when issue 961 drops. So let me know what you guys think of this issue. Did you enjoy the reunion between Superman and Wonder Woman? What are your expectations and thoughts for the remaining issues of this storyline? Are you befuddled as well about the fact that we've all apparently forgotten about Doomsday? And based on this issue, what are your theories as to who Clark Kent is? Let me know in the comments below what you think. And I'd like to thank you guys for tuning into this edition of the Comic Review. Normally this is where I'd say we have new videos coming out weekly, so go ahead, like and subscribe. Still like and subscribe, but just to let you guys know, we are going to be doing a little bit of catch up. Been taking some time off recently just because of work aspects and family things and everything, and also getting over some sickness in the house, so that's why I haven't been in regular updates lately. Also trying out some new formatting things with making the episodes go a little bit quicker on my end. But definitely, if you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're going to be coming out with plenty more reviews on various series, catching up with things with Action Comics, Superman, Batman, Detective Comics, as well as looking into getting into the wider range of DC and Marvel. So yes, definitely tune in for all that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.